This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, good evening all. Is that my voice is audible to everyone? Yeah, thank you for the response. So, can anyone let me know what did we do with the last session? What was the topic we were been running with? So, creating a mail ID account in through very good for the business. Through which tool or which website? Very good. It was through Mailchimp account. Very good. So, let me share my screen. So, we can go for Mailchimp.com. Then for the first time users, you can create it by clicking on sign up option. So you can click on login once you have been already created. So you can enter your username. So let me enter username, then password. So if your username and password is right, it is going to get logged in. So it will ask you for an email code which is sent to your mail ID. So these are the procedures generally we are going to follow it. So when you are going to get relogged in. So for that reason, I am showing you each and everything with the step by step so that if you are going to be in a trouble, you have to follow with this, right? So we are there in this account. Yeah. So now we have been seen like adding the contact details list. So adding every individual email ID details, and also we have been seeing how we can be able to add multiple email IDs when I am having it in a different document. So we have to create one Excel sheet and we have to keep our email IDs list in the particular format, that is with the column names. First column was a email address, then the second name was a first name, third was last name, and the fourth one was address. So in this format, you are supposed to keep it with your database in an Excel sheet. So you can copy this and you can be able to add it. Okay. Now, once you are going to add with all this audience list. So the option we will use this audience, all contacts. So in this, we have been added the multiple email IDs. Either you have a 10 email IDs or 1000 email IDs or 10,000 email IDs. So it is the same procedure we are going to follow with. And also we have been seeing that how to create the tags. So different tags for different email IDs. Okay. Yes. So the next one is now once we are going to add with all the audience list, we are going to create the content. So to create the content, click on create option. So go to the create. So here we have the MailChimp services on all these concepts. So MailChimp can give a service on related to email automations, website creation, landing page, creative assistant. So it can give us services on all this. But as of now, we are going to make use MailChimp for the purpose of email marketing. So let me go for email option. So now, when you are going to click on email option, you have a three choices. So the first one is regular, plain text and template. So which one to be used? So based on your requirements, you can choose the option relevant to. Now, when do I choose the option regular means in case if I want to create an mail content and if I want to send it immediately like an instant mail. So I'll create it immediately and I want to send it. So in that case, you have to choose it as regular. The plain text means, so while we are using this MailChimp, the main purpose is designing our content. So with colorfully, adding the images, adding the video links. So if you do not want it in that format, you want it with the normal mailing, that is only text wise information, then you can choose it as plain text. Then the third option template means when you want to create your content with multiple ideas. So for example, the same content I want to let me take it for example, if I want to wish the people for uh, Happy New Year. So let me assume it. I have a different ideas of wishing Happy New Year to the people. So I can be able to design it different options so that we can be able to use any one of it. Later I can edit the same and I can change it to Happy Sankranti. I can change it to Happy Holi. Happy Yugadi. So like that, if I want to keep a multiple ideas, innovations, so that you can keep it created as a templates. So whichever the one you can be able to implement it immediately. You can change the content in a text format. Rest of the other things you can make you the same images. So whenever you are free, you can put your ideas and you can keep it ready instead of sending it as a mail immediately. Okay, you can consider it as a predefined templates. So keep it ready whenever you want it, you can make use of it. Okay, so you can be able to choose any one of it. Regular, immediately, plain text, no images, only text wise, template, save your content ideas and you can send it whenever you want it. So you can choose it out of any one of this in the three options. Now I'll choose it as template. So let me keep it created, the templates with me. So when I want, I will send it. So I'll go for template option. Then I click on. get started. So here I have some formats, so which has already been created on the MailChimp itself. I can just take the template and I can replace the information however I want it in the template. So whichever the template is going to be relevant to your requirements of information can be filled up. So you can choose it. So wherever you are able to see the option as select, that means that can be used. So I can use either this or this. So out of these two, which one to be chosen based on my ideas? Is that I wanted with a plain one with the white background, I can choose this. So in case if I want to choose it with a colored one, I can choose this. The same features. So this is little bit of with different kind of information. So this is simple text wise and this is with the multiple images. So this is like an SMS. So the short information. So you can choose any one of this. Out of the six, you can select it any one. But after this, if you try to use, it will ask you to upgrade. Upgrade means you have to pay for it, subscribe it, and then you can be able to use it. So six templates are free. So now let me choose any one of it from the free one. Okay, so let me choose it as the white background one. So it will ask you to name with the template. So I'll create it in my business name and I'll save it. So now on the right hand side, the content what you wanted, and on the left hand side, the tools are there. So you can use these tools and you can create the content in whatever the design you want. Okay. So in case if you are finding it difficulty to uh, know that what kind of designs you wanted, so you can be able to make use of your Gmail account only. So where you can be able to see with the promotions. So you can go to the promotions and see that, take a reference of any one of it. So how your content it should be. So this is like an SMS. So either you want it with this. Let me check it out with my another email ID. So I'm trying to log in and find one kind of a case study I can say. Give me a minute. Okay, so I'll share my screen. Yes, hope everyone are able to see my screen. So let's take this as an example. So how this mail content has been created. So this is completely with the images wise it has been created. Okay. So now if you want to make use of this, so you can create all this information through Canva and you can add it. So where you have supposed to have only the images. So there are certain types of yeah. So I'll take this. So this mail content. So you can see this is the logo, the brand, who is sending this mail. This is the heading, and this is the explanation about it. And there is a call to action button. Then there is a kind of image. Then you have a spacer in between. Then you have a kind of an header. Then you have the footer. So the footer is going to explain about your product. So this is going to be like a simple mail, but it has a lot of various types of information. So let us take this as an example and try to duplicate of this as per my requirement. So the very first thing is you are supposed to add your company logo. Okay. So the company logo, above that we have something which I am not required. So this is called as the blocks. So you can see this, the blue line which is covered with. So this is called as a block. Each and every block you can design it however you want it. Generally, when you are creating any web page, you are going to build it with the block by block. Okay, it is like a brick game. So you have to put it the right brick in the right place. Okay. So whichever you do not want it, you can be able to remove it. So you can click on this. So I don't want this complete information to be shown on my mail. So I can select this and I can delete this, remove the block. So it went out. Okay. So the very top always it should be there with our company's logo. So I'll click on this. On the left hand side, it will ask you to edit it. So what do you want to add it on this place? So I click on set logo. It will browse me. So I'll choose it and I'll click on open. So this is my logo. Now this logo, it is there in the centered position. So I can be able to change it on the left hand side. So if you see this, it is there on the left hand side. Do you want it on the left hand side? You can keep it. Or is it a center? Or is it a right? Or do you want to keep it as a full from the center? It is going to show the half of your page. It is going to be there with your logo. So do you want to keep it with this size? So you can be able to edit with your size, however, whatever the size you want. Okay, so let's assume it. This is my logo. I want it in this way. The next thing is, so after the logo, so you want an headline. So you have an headline. So like how here also it is there. So this is the headline and this is the paragraph, what you have been explained. So I'll try to duplicate in the same way. Okay, so I've been given the head in this way. So do you want to explain more on this? You can give it. So suppose if you feel it that I don't want to keep it within this box, so I can remove it. So I'll keep it only the headlines. So and this headlines, do I want to keep it in the same color or do I want to change the color? On the left hand side you have it. So you can add a background color. So behind your page or behind your block. So after this you wanted an image. So you can add it. Okay. So let me add this image. So I have added an image. So after this, I want to explain about my intention. So why this mail it has been sent to you. So I wanted to add a text information over there in a paragraph wise. So in a smaller size characters. So how to add that? So now after this image, I have a button. Okay. So in between these two, I want to bring the paragraph option. So I can select this image because I want it after this. And whatever the changes you do it on the uh, left hand side, that it is going to get applied. So I can be able to drag this option, this paragraph option, whatever it is there. You can drag this and you can be able to place it over here. So wherever you want to add that content type, you can be able to add it over here. Okay. So now you can be able to write about that. So whatever you want to tell about. What is digital marketing, social media marketing? So I can be able to use a tool called ChatGPT. So how many of them are presently using with the ChatGPT tool? Type it as me. How many of them are using ChatGPT as a tool for your any works, college works or personal works? So type it as me who are using with ChatGPT. Okay. So how many of them are not aware that there is a tool called ChatGPT? So they can type it as NA. The people who are not aware with ChatGPT, they can type it as NA. The people who are already using, type it as me. So I have found out one person. Okay, so that's fine. So let me use this. Okay, so I'll just give the prompt over here asking for social media marketing. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, so now I don't want to add all this content. So I am going to just take this main heading. So social media marketing is a powerful tool for businesses to connect with the target audience, build brand awareness and drive engagement. So I'll just take this as my content. Okay. So why I've been used with the Chat GPT, because it is going to be one of the concept which you are going to learn it in the next coming classes. So where you can be able to see that how much, at what extent we can be able to use with Chat GPT as a tool. Okay. So now I've been just added the content over here. Now the next one is the call to action button. So this call to action button. So that means I am going to connect this button. So if anyone clicks on this, it has to connect to a page where I want them to view my works, or they have to feed up their details, the contact details, so that I can be able to save it as a database with me, or I can be able to get connected with them and I can be able to give the services wherever they are. Okay. So in the previous to previous class, we have been done with the concept of Google Forms. So that Google Forms, we can be able to use it over here to collect the mail IDs list. Okay. So now let me give the name. So with what name this button has to be highlighted. I will say that register now. So I want the person to get registered for our courses. What we are going to do it for the digital marketing. So as soon as they click on this button, so where it has to link, so that you have to give it over here. So here you have a lot of options where it has to be connected. So let me choose it as a web and provide the link of it. So let me check it out. Do I have a Google form for this email ID? Okay, so I'll create it one. Let me assume it that this is the Google form which I want to use it for that. So click on the send button, copy, shorten, then copy. And I will use this link over here. Okay, so we will check it out in the preview whether it works fine or not. Okay, so as soon as they are going to click on this button, this form it is going to get opened and you can be able to uh, get all the information about the audience who has been clicked on this link. Okay, so it is going to get saved in the responses Google Sheets. So a Google Sheet it is going to be created. We have to create it so that whenever a person is going to feed up the form, so that it is going to appear over here. Okay, so now let me go here. So make sure that you are going to be chosen with the right, the correct call to action button name. Okay, now in case if you want to keep this button, either it is on the left side, right side, or center, you can choose it any one of it. Then what is the shape? Now it is in the square shape. I want it with rounded. So can you see here? So at the corner it has been changed this shape. And if you want to do more changes, so you can see this. So it is going to get changed. So if you choose this option, okay, so it is going to become. with this format. And do you want the color of the button to be there with the black in color? So you can change it. So like this. Do you want to give a color for this text? So click on done. So you can change the color over here. So I want this to be with the bold, and I want this with a different text format. So like this, you can be able to change the format how you want to display it for your audience. Okay. The next. So this is a divider between the two blocks. So you can add it if you want it, or you can be able to remove it. Then the next part is it is your social media button links. So you can ask your audiences, okay, to click on it. So give me a minute, I'll just be back. Yeah. Uh, Thank you for being online. Sorry for the inconvenience. Aditi, can you let me know that where exactly the option you are not able to find it? Either you can unmute and you can tell in the chat also. Okay, that's good. Fine. So the next one is you are supposed to add with your social media links. So that means when anyone is going to view your mail, so do you want to get connect with your other social media accounts also? That means you are driving the traffic from a mail towards your social media account. So you can tell them that you can follow our page, so follow this particular page so that they can be able to visit your pages and you will have a more traffic towards your social media accounts. So as of now it is showing only three. So with all the social media accounts you want to connect it. So you can be able to choose it over here. If you use this drop down button, you'll have a multiple options. So you can ask your audiences to choose it. So what are those options are already available with you? So do you have a Facebook account? Do you have an Instagram account? Do you have an Twitter account? Do you have a website address? Do you have a YouTube account? Do you have a Pinterest account? Do you have a LinkedIn? Like this, you can be able to connect it with multiple social media links on this mail. Okay. Yes. So now, once after adding all this list of social media accounts, so here you have a icon styles. So as of now, it has been chosen in this format. So do you want this background to be white in color, or you don't want that circle itself? So you can have it in any one of this format. Okay. So in case if you don't have this accounts, you are not being added with the social media account of your business. So do not use it so that it is not going to lead it into a wrong place. Okay. So that it is not going to give a good impression on your brand. So if you have it, so you can link it. So most of the brands will have it. Okay. So if you don't have it, you can be able to delete. So in the same way, you can be able to keep it the space, then the color wise. Okay. So like this, you have a different options. So once everything is fine, you can click on done option. The next, this is your footer note. So in this footer note, you can add it. So it is mandatory that every mail or the web page, it should have an header on the top and at the bottom there should be a footer note. So that footer note, it is going to tell about all the contact details. So what is that information do you want to reach it to your audience so that they can get connected for the business? So that information has to be given at the footer note. Okay. So in between this, if you want to add anything else, so you can see over here on the left hand side, you have a lot of options. you can be able to drag and drop it over there. Okay, so whichever the feature it is going to be relevant to your business page or your mail content, so you can drag it and you can drop it over there so that it is going to show. Okay, so now there's the footer note. So where first it is there with the logo format, and below to that the content it has been filled up. So now let me feed up with this information. So do not keep any irrelevant information. So irrelevant is nothing but do not write it with any of the special characters or like a coding which is not in a readable format, because if anything is there with a non-readable format, so that mail is considered as a spamming mail. Okay, so why the mails will go to the spam box, junk mail box? Because if it is found that inside that mail, if it is containing any such kind of content which is an unreadable format, okay, so it is going to throw it into the spam box. Lot of times our important mails will go into the spam box or with the junk mail box. Okay, so to avoid with all those things, you are supposed to give it with the readable formatted information. So I have to give it over here. My business name, then I'll remove all this. So here it is asking for the mailing address. So do you want to give it only the mail address or do you want to give with the complete contact address? Okay, let's assume it this is my email ID. So with this, I also want to give it with my contact address. So I'm just giving some address. Okay, so I don't want this to be having with the space. You can see here on the top, for whatever the box you are going to select it, the block, so you can be able to change it, the format, how it is to be formed. So I'm going to keep it. the spacing between each of the line. So there should be a one distance itself. Okay, so I wanted everything in this way. Okay, so now all this content, so you can observe over here, there is nothing with the any kind of an information with unreadable format. So everything it is in a readable format. Now I want this in a particular format, that is by clicking on change layout. So I have options like this, whether it should be in the centered or on the left hand side, on the right hand side, or the logo on the left hand side and the content on the right hand side, same vice versa, and whether the logo should be at the bottom. So I'll choose it on this thing. So you can be able to say it like this. So now this content, I wanted everything to be aligned it on the left hand side. So I can keep it like this. So whichever the format you feel it, it is going to be right way. So it is going to be displayed in a proper format. It is in readable format. Okay. So you can choose it out of this. So now if you want to see that, how does it is going to show it when anyone is going to receive our mail. So click on the preview and you can be able to see with this format. So on the desktop mode, you have this. Click on mobile version. So the same content, if you see it on the mobile phone, is it showing in a right place? Is it in a responsive mode? And the inbox, actually, it is there with chargeable basis. That is only if you have been subscribed, it will show it. Otherwise, you can view it directly in the mail. If you are going to give your own email ID while sending it. Okay. So you can be able to view all this information. Try to make use of all this features, the content block types. Okay. Then you can also see that on the left hand side, there is the styles, then the layouts. So suppose if you want it with the image with the text and text in the multiple columns, so even this also you can be able to make use of it. Okay. So once you have been done with your content, it is prepared. So you can save this template and exit from the creation screen. So save template and exit. So it will take a few seconds of time. So it is going to get saved in the templates list. So if you want to edit, you can click on this edit option and you can edit it. Suppose if you are there in the main screen, now you got to know there is a template. Now, suppose you log out and you are going to log into your MailChimp account freshly. So you'll be there in this home page. Now, where do you go for searching it? So it is easy. You can go for create, go to the email option, template. So if you go to the get started, so here you can see the save template on the top itself. Okay, so if you want to make any changes, you can click on select and you can duplicate it or uh, wait. So to edit this, we can go for campaigns. Wait, let me go for content email templates. Sorry, at the bottom one in the content there is an option called email templates. So in this you can go and you can find it. Whatever the templates you have been created till now, you can be able to go there and edit this if you want to add any information more. So click on edit. So again it will take you back there, edit whatever the data you want to edit it and click on save template and exit. Is that everyone are clear to here? So how did we create a template? Yes, good. So please take a few minutes of time and just have a look on each of the option. So we'll get back after 4 minutes at 7:40. And in case if you have any kind of doubt, you can clarify it. So if not, we will continue with the how to send the mail of this particular template details. Thank you all for being online. Yeah. So is there any question on that? Any options while creating the template? No. Good. So fine. So once we are going to create with the template, so the next thing is I have to send this to my email IDs. So how we can be able to do this? So I'll go for create option, then I'll go for email. Now to send the mail, we have to use the option called regular. To create template, to send and create it while sending, it is regular. So I'll create it as Jan 2024 mail list. So click on begin. So now it is going to ask you to choose to whom to send this mail. Click on edit recipients and you can be able to choose it. So for example, I can select all subscribers in the audience list. That means I've been created a multiple tags like Facebook ad tag, then Instagram ad tag, then it may be website ad tag. So various ways, the various type of audience list I might have been created. So to which type of audience list do you want to send this mail? So you can choose it. So since it has been chosen as all subscribers, it has taken all the mail IDs of different tags. It is like general. Suppose if you want to send it to the specific type of audience, like as I've said, I explained about if I want to send a mail only to the users or the audiences who have been taken part in my Facebook ad campaign, only to them, then I can choose it by clicking on send to option. In this list, I can choose it only as Facebook ads. So in this, whatever the mail IDs list it is there. So only to them it will be sent. Okay. The next part is you can be able to choose it that tag which you do not want to send it to. So the above one to whom to send to and the same list of tags which tag should not be considered. Suppose if you are going to choose it here as all subscribers, so then here you can be able to choose it. Don't send it to those people who have been coming from Instagram ad. Okay. So like this I can be able to choose it. So let me choose it only for the Instagram ad people. Let's assume it. Then click on this, tick on this option, personalize the send to field. So if you click on this, you will be asked. So while sending the mail, so how it has to be addressed. So do you want to address stating with their email ID or with their name? So you can observe here. So example, do you want to tell the email ID as a bob@example.com, or do you want to tell that this mail is to Mr. Bob Smith? So if you don't select this option, then it will go with this email ID. In case if you are going to pick on this, you have a choice. So do you want to pronounce their first name only, last name only, or first name and last name both? Then click on save. Okay. So this was to the two option and you have been chosen with the particular tag out of seven email IDs. So there are five email IDs who are coming under this campaigns list. Okay. So this is how you can be able to specify segmenting. Okay. Is that understood with this? Clear with the two option selecting the recipients? Yes. Okay. So the next one is from. So you can be able to see that this mail is going with the sender's name as Lokesh. So I don't want to put in my mail my name, personal name. I want to send this mail with my business name. So I have to edit this with my business name. Okay. So click on save. So now this mail it is going with this sender's name. The next thing is subject. So click on add subject. So add subject. So subject means what is this highlighted words. So most of the time the mails will get opened based on the subject line what you have been written with. The subject line matter. Okay. So you can be able to add it up to 150 characters it says. But the suggestion is try to keep it within 60 characters and follow with this certain suggestions. So what is that? Try to keep your subject matter within 9 words because if it is very lengthier, it will not be displayed. Then the next option is try to add one emojis and try to avoid not going for more than 60 characters and try to have three punctuation marks, not to have more than that. If you want, you can add it. Okay. So you can write a subject. Okay. So you can see this everything it is with the right mark. Okay. It says it is impressive. Suppose if I make any small changes, so instead of one emoji, I will add one more emoji. You can see that it is going to give it in a question mark time. So why you want to add it? So it is not a right practice, it says. Okay. So try to avoid such kind of things, which is not going to give you a the better suggestion. Okay. So then the preview text is like a trailer of your mail. So for this, there is no any restrictions. You can be able to give it. So try to keep it in 50 characters limitations. Okay, I'll just take some random information and I'll click on save. So I've given the subject and I've been given with the preview text. Then the next part is send time. So do you want to send it immediately? So if you click here, you have a two choice. Do you want to send it immediately, or do you want to send it at any particular time? You can schedule a time, date and time. So if you want to fix this, you can choose this. If you want to send it right now, you can click it on send now. Then click on save. Then finally, you'll be asked to select with the content. So that is by clicking on design email. So you can create a content now, or you can go for save templates and choose it the template which are being created. Click on apply. So it is showing. So I'll click on save and exit. If I'm okay with everything, I'll save and exit. So now finally it is going to show that everything is ready. Now click on send if you want to send it now, or click on finish later. Okay. Or if you are having a very large number of mail IDs list, so if you wanted to send a test email, so you can send it for your email ID only. Okay. So choices of yours. So I'll click on send. So it has been chosen with all the five members. Click on send now. So it is going to ask you for check the email report. Either you can click over here, or you can go for all campaigns under the campaigns. So you can see here. So it is showing as a sending process. So it will take a few minutes of time. Once it has been sent, it will show you the analytics that how many people have been received your mail, in that how many of them have opened the mail, and how many of them have clicked on the call to action button and they have been taken an action. Okay, so this is how we are going to use the MailChimp tool for sending mass mail services. Is that clear to everyone? Is that understood? Fine. So I'll try to share a document on this, so that if you have been missed out, if you had any doubt, you can clarify it through that document. So go through with that and try to duplicate on it. Okay. So thank you all. Have a wonderful time.